everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking with Our Traders, a Caesars Sportsbook original series. This is where we sit down with our very own Caesars Sportsbook traders and dive deep into everything NFL and college football. Whether you're looking for insider insights or just want to hear what the pros have to say, you've come to the right place. Let's get into it. I'm your host, Cindy Edwards, and with me today, as always, is Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesars Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Fiesel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good? I'm doing pretty good. Missed you guys.
For all of a week.
Yeah. Let's dive into some college football. Joey, how many SEC teams will make the 12-team college football playoff?
It's going to be likely 4 that are going to make it in. Got Texas, Tennessee, probably Alabama. But then Old Miss will be in, but then it's Georgia and Tennessee, how that plays out this week. Because I think if Georgia wins this week, which they're 10-point favorites, they should be, that only put Tennessee at 2 losses, who also have some big wins. Look, these are the blue bloods of college football. They're going to want them to get in. They're going to put the thumb on the scale for these teams. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's going to end up only being 4, just because there's a lot of good teams outside of the conference. And even the Big Ten, you get Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. I think those are 3 locks in. Indiana, I think we're going to talk about them in a little bit. There also should be considered as well. So it'll be an interesting kind of compilation as we get to the end of the year. And it was really interesting to see them push Georgia out of the playoff, despite their resume. I think they have the hardest strength of schedule. They have a tough go. They are one of still our top 5 teams in our power ranking. So they should be in there, but we're getting in that little, you lost a certain amount of games, should you be in, when Penn State, hasn't had like a huge victory, but they're going to be a shoo-in.
Right. Craig, do you agree, disagree?
Poor Tennessee get Georgia just after being the last one out, first one out. Thankfully, I don't have to price this up as often as Joey does, so I didn't overthink this. I just thought, however many SEC teams end with 2 losses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is probably going to be 4.
Yeah, probably going to be 4.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're in agreement. Joey, if Indiana loses to Ohio State, will they still make the college football playoff?
Yeah, I believe they will. It'll be just probably 1 loss. They still could beat Ohio State, but if they don't, they're a very talented team that no one saw coming. They're very healthy. They're very motivated. They'd be a fun kind of TCU-style team. And look, you can only play what the schedule is in front of you, and they've beat some kind of those middle-ranked tier teams pretty healthily. So yeah, I think they'll still make it. We saw Penn State lose to Ohio State. They're still ranked 4th. So Ohio State loss, unless it's a blowout, even with a blowout, I still think they get it.
Gotcha.
This is assuming that they beat Purdue last week, which Purdue haven't won a game all year.
Yeah.
So you assume that. I just felt that Ohio State's path to making it was harder than Indiana's, because Ohio State's got to beat Indiana and they've got to beat their heated rival in Michigan. I can't see, assuming it's only 1 loss, Indiana have every right to be in it.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. If Travis Hunter stays healthy, is he a lock to win the Heisman? Obviously, healthy, the key word here, but what would it take for someone to overtake him?
Locks are not plus money. So we still have a ways to go in the next 4 weeks. That's including the conference championship week. Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Ashton Genty, maybe even Curtis Rourke for Indiana will be competing in the conference championship. So I think it's far from a lock. From the perspective of what it would take, well, 3 of those competitors are quarterbacks, which are going to have the ball on every play. Travis Hunter played both sides of the ball, so he'll definitely have his opportunities. But I think, it's definitely not a lock. He is, if it would end today, he's clearly the most talented college football player. But he's not a quarterback, and he's going to miss opportunities. I mean, we saw how teams have treated Ashton Genty, and they just stack the box and they make that quarterback. They could just double cover Travis on, and they could be that game ruiner or that trophy ruiner, which we've seen in Ashton Genty, which is definitely possible. It's harder to do that for a quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, his wide receiver stats keep him in the conversation. Defensively, he's not up there, and he's not leading the league in any wide receiver categories either. He's there in the mix. He's certainly not a lock for me at even money. There's a couple of scenarios I see. He gets injured, it's over. Coach Prime feeds him the ball and pad the stats against some less opposition. Or we get what happened with Jaden Daniels last year. You get a quarterback who gets the cupcake game and absolutely loads up, and then Travis Hunter gets double teamed,
Right.
gets
Can't
out the
keep up.
attention, and then it comes out. Certainly not even money for me. I'd take the field against Travis Hunter.
I think we should make shirts, and the first shirt we're going to make is going to have the saying, locks are not plus money. I liked that, Joey.
Locks are not negative money either.
It's true.
We can make the inverse as well. All right, can you guys preview Tennessee, Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia fell short to a very good Ole Miss team last week.
Yep.
Tennessee has made their way through the SEC gauntlet the past 4 weeks to make it to this spot. I think this is the playoff elimination game for Georgia. I don't think, because they really don't have great competitions, they won't be competing in the SEC championship game. So if they lose this game, I think it's done for them. Again, it's iffy if Georgia wins. And then it's going to be interesting to see how the committee is going to treat that Tennessee loss, especially when it's this late in the year. This line has bounced back and forth between 9.5 and 10. So Georgia's still a very respected top team, especially if, Tennessee's ranked obviously much higher. Nico in concussion protocol, that's going to be a kind of a big key factor for this game because he is, I think the backup is sustainable, but Nico is the guy. He's been the guy all year. So it's going to be a hungry Georgia team going in, and Carson Beck is going to want to shut down the haters for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a tough game to go into last week. Ole Miss brought their game. They knew they had to win that game. Also, it was weather-related the whole game. A lot of it comes down to Nico's participation. He did practice Monday. We won't know until the injury report comes out 3 o'clock this afternoon. He's practiced, which is a sign, but then on the reverse, the line opened 8.5. It was 10 when I left my office. That suggests two things. Either there's the doubt with the quarterback, which there is, or this is Georgia's revenge. Georgia absolutely have to win this game.
Right.
Otherwise, they are out.
Right.
Interesting, we took a $50,000 bet on Georgia to win the title on Saturday, right before they won this game as well. I wouldn't want to be playing Georgia in the playoffs, and I certainly wouldn't want to be playing Georgia this weekend.
No.
So you both said it. So to reiterate, if Georgia loses this game, they are essentially eliminated in your opinion.
Put the toaster on.
Because then all they have left is UMass and Georgia Tech, and that's not going to move the needle.
That's not going to move the needle.
Right. Okay. Favorite Week 12 game for the total to go under? Craig, we know you love unders. Why don't you start us off?
And we got it right because we had Georgia Ole Miss last week.
Yeah.
True.
But we got the weather right for once. I am going to go Cincinnati, Iowa State under 53.5 because it's 20 to 25 mile an hour winds. Nothing special, nothing genius.
Iowa State's always a good under. I went Oregon State Air Force under 45. Just a boring game all around.
All right. Favorite Week 12 game for the total to go over? Joey, start us off.
San Diego State UNLV over 54.
Ooh.
I like this UNLV team. Still think they can score a lot of points. San Diego State not really great on defense, so give me that.
Okay. Hat tip to the genius behind the scenes because I can't pick over, so he gave it to me. Boston College SMU over 53.5.
I like it. Which team is on upset alert, Craig? This is your bread and butter right here.
Well, I went to bed at halftime with Utah and BYU, and Utah were way up. And the only reason I didn't pick it because I knew you didn't like it because of BYU. And then I wake up in the morning, it's BYU win. Utah still covered, and Vandy, their quarterback, without their quarterback in this injury, we had no chance. The data this week suggests Oregon State is on upset alert as a 4-point road favourite to Air Force. And what a better way to salute the military academy on Veterans Week.
Well,
Very true.
There you go.
Very
Let's
true.
go Air Force.
I got Kansas State on upset alert against Arizona State. The Big 12 has been wild. Cam Skadaboo is back, one of my favorite running backs. Give me them to get it done.
All right. Well, let's get into some NFL. Can you rank the rookie QBs you'd want to build a franchise around this year? Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Who would like to start?
I'll go.
All right.
So I got a curveball.
Okay, there we go.
Daniels, Michael Penix Jr.,
Oh.
Williams, May, Nix in that order. Part of this is recency bias, though Williams clearly doesn't have the talent around him or the coordinators that Daniels is benefiting from.
Of course.
Nick's age would stop me from building a franchise around him anyway. He's 50. May doesn't necessarily inspire me, although, again, it's first year.
Yeah.
Williams, pocket passer, we'll see. Daniels is the top of the list so far, but Penix is the unknown quantity, and he'll have a year from learning from Kirk Cousins. So that's why I threw Penix as a second.
No, it's
Nice
good.
curveball. I
good
followed
call.
the rules.
I don't follow the rules.
Number one, you're going to be surprised. Drake May is who I would
Ooh.
build the franchise around. He's
Ooh.
the youngest of the bunch. Just turned 22.
Oh my God.
He has that kind of mix between all these quarterbacks where he can be a pocket passer.
I like it.
He can also move the ball. So you can kind of have multiple options how you could build this team up. Whereas number two, Jaden Daniels, he's really benefiting from the Kingsbury. And that's a good marriage to have, but you're not always going to have a Kingsbury system,
And running quarterbacks are very susceptible to injury.
Yeah, and
Right.
you don't know, they're not all Lamar Jackson.
No.
Number three, Caleb. Caleb, he's very talented, kind of a really precision passer, but I think it's just the Bears curse has got to them. Now they're firing Shane Waldron, which they probably should have done. It was just
Yeah.
kind of a bad system. And then Bo Nix, I got number four. But I think all four of these quarterbacks are good. I think Bo Nix, he almost beat the Chiefs last week. He should have beat the Chiefs last
Yeah.
week.
Well, he did beat the Chiefs.
did.
The kicker
Yeah,
didn't beat the
That's
Chiefs.
That is true.
That's true.
The luck of the Chiefs. We'll get into it. I think you both agreed that Bo Nix was last on your list, correct?
He was, but
Yeah.
he's the
It's
oldest.
age.
He's the
The
oldest out of
question's
bunch
building a
too.
franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're building a franchise. Yeah, that's the question.
Okay, for longevity. All right. How many wins would the Bears have right now if Jim Harbaugh was their head coach?
That's a very hard question to
Yeah,
answer
very hard to quantify.
because of the offseason moves, right? Because if Harbaugh's in, I don't think they go Caleb. I think they trade out of the one. We saw what Harbaugh wanted to get. He had the opportunity at number 5 to pick. Who did he pick? An offensive lineman. That's what he wants. He wants to build inside out. So I would say it's a push because you don't know what is going to happen. I mean, Harbaugh is definitely a better coach than Eberflus is, and I think that's going to be very clear in the history books, to say the least. But it's weird because they would go a completely different way. He went offensive lineman. He also bring in the bell call running backs, building that running game up. Now they're starting to pass more. The Chargers are a scary team, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that same success would happen for the Bears.
Hat tip, because I never even thought of that angle at all. 3 of the Bears' current losses were by 1 score or less. They've not beaten anybody good, and they were fortunate to beat the Titans week 1. Harbaugh and the Bears have had 3 common opponents, so I went the common opponent route. Both teams beat Carolina, both teams beat Tennessee, both lost to the Cardinals. So of the losses, maybe Harbaugh sneaks a win versus New England or Indy. Maybe 6 wins. 5 would be the absolute max.
All right. I like the math you did there.
Sometimes.
Well, let's get into some power rankings. Who are the top 5 teams in your power rankings right now?
Lions,
I got them tied for 1. Yeah.
Ravens,
Yep.
Bills,
Yep.
Chiefs,
Yep.
Eagles.
Nope. I got Bengals and 49ers tied for 5th.
Whoa. Bengals.
Look, the Bengals, they're 4-5, but
Yeah.
they're
not a 4 and
They're
5
not a
team.
4-5 team.
No way.
This team is talented. All get out. They're losing coin flip games a lot of the times.
Yeah, all
Eagles
one
need
possession.
to kind of show them a little bit more because they win games, but they're just not impressive. We'll get to them later, but yeah, it's they're on the cusp, but they haven't got to that point yet.
Perfect. All right, let's get into favorite week 11 game for the total to go under. Craig, we call this the Craig special. Start us off.
And the Craig special got both of them. The data got the one right last week on Chiefs Denver.
Yep.
And the weather came for the weather didn't come, but there was 2 terrible teams, the Bears and Patriots. Biggest difference this week on my ratings is the Packers and Bears. That's the under.
Okay. Joey?
Jets, Colts, under 44. Jets are not good.
Neither are the Colts.
Yeah.
Neither are the Colts.
Yeah.
You can drop the mic right there.
Yeah.
Favorite week 11 game for the total to go over, Joey?
It's steamed up a little bit, but I still like it. Bengals, Chargers over 47. Again, going back to that really talented Bengals team,
Yeah.
Bengals offense, not a great defense. Chargers starting to throw the ball more, so I think the market hasn't caught up to that. It's teamed up from 44 to 47, so I guess the market did catch up, but I still like the over.
I like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the data got this one right as well last week with the Ravens and Bengals, which is costly on Thursday night.
Yeah, it was.
Biggest difference on the ratings this week is the Ravens Steelers, another divisional
that
matchup.
was the other one I was looking at.
Definitely. Okay, let's pick an NFL upset.
Oh, we were so close.
Oh, gosh.
Very close.
It's
Well,
pain.
we both agreed with the Steelers, but we called Denver a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, that just, I can't explain it.
A customer won $334,000 on a parlay and had the Chiefs in there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now that's luck.
Yeah, that is luck.
Fair play.
That is luck.
Yeah.
All right, who we got this week?
It has to be the Cowboys over the Texans, surely. And the reason, Tennessee's the only game to have won off a Lions matchup the previous, and none of them have covered yet.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah, that angle, yeah.
At halftime with Texans Lions, I texted my boss. I said, "You know how this is going to end, and you know why. Now you see why these teams don't cover the week after. It's just, it's hard playing the Lions. They are so physical."
They're
Right.
very great.
Yeah.
New England Patriots, West Coast team going east. Jake May's improving. My Rams lose to
Again,
New
to the
England.
AFC
Ooh.
East.
Yeah,
Fading your Rams.
fading the Rams.
Is there an end zone in New England?
All right. Okay.
Rams won't be able to
Enough.
find it if that's.
Enough over there. Okay, let's get into building your 3-leg anytime touchdown score parlay. Craig, you're going to build one. Joey's going to build one. We're going to see if one cashes. Craig, start us off.
Okay, so unlike the Rams on Monday night against my Dolphins, these fellas can find the end zone. We've got to hit one at some stage. But now, again, it's not quite desperation, but now we're like, I've got to get a 10-1 winner to show some sort of profit.
Right.
So each week we lose, we've got to get
just
one
getting
by an
better.
extra point. So this one's scraping the barrel, this one. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I will say I like that one.
I tried that last week. I couldn't get there with the quarterbacks. But this week I got 2 rookies and a transfer. I got Ricky Pearsall, 49ers.
Yeah, he goes
Got
first.
one last week. I think he builds on that. DeAndre Hopkins for the Chiefs. And Lad McConkey for the Chargers.
Ooh.
Stealing my one from last week. Still waiting to score.
Perfect. If you guys at home like either of these, you can trail them on the Caesar Sportsbook app. Okay, guys, are you ready for some overreactions or not?
Always.
All right. Overreaction or not, the Chiefs are the luckiest team in NFL history.
Overreaction.
Yeah,
Okay,
overreaction.
I'm taking this one. Like, you make your own luck, and there's a couple of golden rules in this industry. It's better to be lucky than good, and the other one is he who owns the gold makes the rules. That said, the Chiefs league best 7-2 against the spread in the fourth quarter. So there's your other golden rule. Form is temporary, class is permanent, and that's you win games late in the game. Luckiest team in history? No. The luckiest team in history is week 2 of 2001 season when Drew Bledsoe got injured. And that changed the franchise, and how lucky did you get?
Yeah, well, that luck wasn't with us in that Super Bowl when we were undefeated. So,
It'd be still one
Yeah.
a million of them.
Joey?
This is an overreaction. There's 4 luck factors. I don't know if NFL tracks this.
Oh, luck factors.
There's
Let's
dropped
go.
interceptions, dropped passes by the opposing team, field goals made or missed. It's always a luck factor because you could overperform, you could underperform, and fumble recoveries just because anybody can get the ball. Now, as humans, we'd like to believe that the Chiefs are the luckiest team because stuff like that happens, but that's not what the data suggests. What if I told you the Chiefs weren't even in the top 5 of these luck factors for this season?
I'd believe it.
The Commanders, Browns, Chargers, Rams, Denver. Remember the Browns when the Ravens just dropped everything?
Yeah.
Those are the look factors, and then the Chiefs are the 6th. A great follow on Twitter is Tom Bliss, data scientist for the NFL. He keeps track of this every week. He has a lot of really fun, nerdy stuff on there. If you get a chance.
All right, so the Chiefs are not the luckiest team in NFL history. Overreaction or not, the Cardinals are for real.
Not an overreaction. I think this Cardinals team is really built, and they can win the West. Kyler did not play COD this year, and it's showing
It's
very
apparent.
clearly. Kyler, James Conner, Maserati Marv, Trey McBride. This team can put up some touchdowns on the board and quickly. So defensively, yeah, they can have some struggles, but I think just offensively, if they just keep building on this, they are for real.
You couldn't be further wrong. This is a monstrous overreaction. They lost to the Bills, the Lions, the Packers, the Commanders. They've lost to good teams. They beat a banged-up Rams. They beat the Bears. They beat the Jets. They needed a last-second field goal to beat the Dolphins. And that ugly game on Monday night, which was my favourite game of the year, another last-second field goal against the Chargers. No. And, beating up on poor teams is one thing. When you start beating the cream of the crop, then you're to be taken for real.
Well, maybe we'll circle back.
Yeah,
to this
let's
one
circle
later.
back to this one. I like it. Okay, overreaction or not, the Broncos will make the playoffs.
Overreaction. I got 36% chance to make it. The tougher schedule down the stretch. I think Bo's improving week by week, but I don't think they get it done.
Joey takes Tuesdays off. And when I looked at this question, I went out on the floor and spoke to one of Joey's team. I said, this price is wrong. He's like, let's have a look at this. So I've mended your price yesterday. Sorry,
there we go.
mate.
Okay.
9 wins gets you in the AFC this year. They stand at 5 now with 4 very winnable games in the next 4 weeks. They've got the Falcons, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Colts. On my data, I have them at 9.5 wins, which gets them in. They've got the 21st toughest schedule the rest of the way. But a lot of it will rely on the Bengals because the Bengals play both the Chargers and the Broncos, and those 3 are probably fighting for the last 2 places. They also get the Chiefs in Week 18, which might be we're resting everybody.
Yeah.
So that might even get them if they lose one of those gimmies, that might get them the 9th win that they need. When I saw the
good
plus
point.
190 yesterday, I was like, "Ooh, that's value." And then I looked at the data a bit more, and Joey's price was correct, but I still chopped it.
It's fine.
And it's very
we will
rare I get
see.
involved.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Overreaction or not, the Giants should bench Daniel Jones.
Overreaction.
I don't think it's an overreaction. I think Danny Dimes is playing like Danny Penny's
Danny
two-lock
Pennies.
season.
Yeah.
I had to look at the exchange rate because he was Danny Euros last week, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he exchanged the ball often to the other team.
Yeah.
You paid him the money. He's not getting into the playoffs. The coach is toast at the end. There's no way Debo survives.
No.
Right.
So why didn't you go out and win the number 1 pick? See if you can do something.
All right. Let's get into Craig's Weather Watch. Craig, any games on Weather Watch this weekend?
NFL, not a lot. But I'm keeping an eye on San Francisco because it might be a bit wet. College football, though, there's a lot of windy games. Iowa State, hence my under. Kansas State, Old Dominion, Wisconsin, Massachusetts, and Navy.
Okay, we will keep an eye on those. Let's get into some game previews. Let me first start off by saying that we are spoiled for choice with this week's matchups.
Yes.
Very exciting.
And great timings because they don't clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Thursday Night Football, Commanders, Eagles, and NFC East showdown with the 2 top dogs in their division. Joey, break it down for us.
Yeah, the NFC East decider game, part 1. Commanders are a good team that I don't think anybody saw coming. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, Jaden Daniels turned this franchise around this year for the good. Eagles were expected to be good from the start, are 7-2, but really don't look as good as I think Craig and I thought they would be to this
Right.
point. But maybe instead of last year, they started out strong. Maybe they're going to finish strong. So it's going to be a very, very good game. Line has been the same since it's opened. I think it's Eagles minus 3.5. I can double check that, but I do like the Eagles to get it done this game and just to kind of be that first game to push it towards the end of the season goal.
Yeah, I put no effort into doing a preview because these games are so good. Everybody knows what they are, but I did throw some stats together. So,
Okay.
Divisional home favourites this year, 12-5 straight up, 7-10 against the spread. Primetime home favourites, 17-6 straight up, 14-9 against the spread. And the first Thursday night home favourites are 5-1 straight up, which suggests the Eagles win straight up. But if you're an over better, rejoice, unlike us again on a Thursday. Commanders are 5-0 over on the road. 5 of the last 6 Thursday nights have flew over. They didn't even come close. And over in Philly in the last 10 meetings is 8-2 between these 2 teams.
All right. Well, this will be a good one. I'm excited.
Yes.
Next up, Bills versus the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Bills are no doubt the toughest competition that KC has faced so far. So, Craig, what should we expect?
Well, you get Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. Again.
Right, his stats are pretty good when he's in
11
that
and
position.
3 straight up, 12-1-1 against the spread as when an underdog, and the last time the Chiefs failed to cover the spread as a road dog was 2016 versus the Steelers. In my head, I thought the Bills win all the regular season games in Buffalo, but then lose in the playoffs. And I looked, and the Chiefs have actually won 4 straight in Buffalo before losing the previous 6, which completely surprised me.
Yeah.
Surprisingly as well, the Bills are 4-over at home. Bills are interested. The league's best 8-2 against the spread second half, but the Chiefs are 7-2 in the fourth quarter. So your removable object quote there. Unfortunately, the sportsbook nightmare. Favourites are 30-9 straight up in the 1 p.m. games, and 24-14 against the spread. Cardinals won as a dog last week, but the last one to do that was the Chiefs in Week 7 against the 49ers as a dog. So, yeah, we always worry about the 1 o'clock games because you get the results at 10 o'clock, and if a couple don't go the customer's way, people reload, and then the 1 o'clocks, you've got very little room for getting a result.
Yeah.
Games this week.
When I looked at the 1 o'clocks, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because how many times have we like, the morning was okay, the afternoon was great for customers.
Do you like a team here? Or are you staying away?
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I'm
I just think it's a be a great game.
It's a big, great game. Yeah, AFC Championship preview maybe. We shall see.
Yeah.
Chiefs undefeated. Bills 2 L's to 2 good teams. But the Bills want this badly, as they always do against the Chiefs. And meanwhile, Mahomes and the Chiefs just find ways to get it done.
Yep.
I still can't get over the Broncos' missed field goal. We predicted it a couple weeks ago. Where's that first Chiefs loss going to be? We thought it was going to be there. Somehow they get it done. But yeah, I don't know who's going to win this game, but I know on Sunday everybody's eyes are going to be on this matchup for sure.
Yeah, we'll be cheering on
Absolutely.
whatever the liability is.
Yeah. We'll find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, another divisional matchup. The 7-3 Ravens take on the 7-2 Steelers. The Steelers haven't played a division game all season.
Yeah.
That is
Wild.
insane. Joey, break it down for us.
AFC North decider game. Ravens offense is absolutely cooking. The Steelers are absolutely cooking with Mr. Unlimited, and already got more out of Mike Williams than the Jets have.
Yeah.
So
It was so ironic. He scored that touchdown.
it's definitely ironic. The
Good for him.
Line is heading towards the Ravens, but I think that's the wrong side. I like the Steelers to get it done this game.
Ooh.
I've got the total higher. This is 348.5 at the moment. I make it slightly higher, hence it was my over. Interesting fact, the road favourites this year between 3 and 5 point spreads are 18-5 and 1 against the spread, but 22-2 straight up, which also impacts home field advantage because my home field advantage number has dropped significantly this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it at a point right now, which factors into all these road favourites winning. Ravens are 5-0 on the road over, another bad point because it's a divisional game. But the dog is 8-1-1 in the last 10 matchups in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence again. I'll just
You're on
take
the fence?
the over.
Yeah.
Just the over? All right. Next up, we have Sunday Night Football with the 4-6 Bengals visiting the 6-3 Chargers. You guys mentioned it. The Bengals do not reflect their record. So, Craig, break it down for us.
I have the Bengals favoured slightly more on this. I have Bengals up there in my ratings, but they're not top 5. But as we said after week 2, I picked the Bengals purely because you know the Bengals will be a better team.
Yeah.
But they just keep blowing big leads.
Yeah.
Blew against the Chiefs, blew against the Ravens, and you can't do that against great opponents. Chargers, the surprise, 6-2 against the spread, 3-0 as home favourites this year against the spread. But something's got to give on the total here because the Chargers are 7-2 under and the Bengals are 7-3 over. But at least the end zone will be found in SoFi this weekend.
Another Rams dig.
He's throwing him in there.
He loves it. Poor Joe Burrow. They do everything they could have done on Thursday and couldn't get it done.
For real.
And they went for the 2, which was the right thing to do.
That was the right
thing to do.
call, yeah,
Right thing to do,
absolutely.
and, then everybody's like, oh, see, you shouldn't go for 2. This team, despite being 4-6, again, are in my top 5. They just can't get the wins in. It's going to be a fun Sunday Night Football, and again, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to give on the Bengals side just how they've been playing every week. And you got to catch up to them. You got to play with that same pace if Jamar Chase is able to get 70-yard touchdown passes. But yeah, I lean the Bengals here just because I think they're a great team. I think they're the top 5 team. But the Chargers, I can't bet against Harbaugh. So not leaning it. I'm leaning the Bengals side, but I'm not going to be betting it. But it should be a very good game. And we were very blessed with the games this week, for sure.
Very blessed, yes. Okay, guys, well, let's get into our picks of the week. Craig, do you want to remind the people where we stand?
Yeah, I was about to phone the restaurant for the end of year bet, but then I hung up on them because I saw Joey went 0-2. Joey's on 13, you're on 11.
Yes.
And I'm catching up with 7 now. And
Yes.
we found out when the competition ends. So the competition ends on the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Or when I take the lead. Okay.
Sounds fair.
So the picks this week, nothing special on this one. The go with the Lions trend until it gets beat. Cowboys plus 7.5. Sun's not going to get in the way this time. There's no excuses. And I'll stick with the weather. Cincinnati over Iowa State under 53.5.
Okay, Joey.
I'm going to go Friday night matchup. Houston plus 1 against Arizona. I think they're an undervalued team. And then I'm going to go Steelers plus the 3. Don't feel great about it, but
Doubling down, though. I respect
yeah.
it.
Betting
I
against the
respect
Harbaugh.
it.
You just
Betting
texted
against Harbaugh, I
2
know.
seconds ago. You
That's
said, I've
what's
never
top
betting
of
against
it,
the Harbaugh.
but
Apparently, there's
that's
one he will bet against, there's one he won't.
Yeah, it's true. A little contradictory there.
And I'm going to go Colorado minus 11.5. And then, Joey, I'm going to bet against the other Harbaugh, and I'm going to go Bengals plus 1.5. So we will see which, maybe we'll both be proven
Harbaugh'd
wrong.
out.
Yeah, maybe we'll both be beaten by the brothers. But Craig, I got an interesting call.
Okay.
2 days ago. It was my dad, who apparently listens to this podcast. I didn't
Smart
know
man.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He goes, who's the guy on the left, the British one? And I was like, oh, that's Craig. He's like, I really like that guy. I just fade all his picks. I'm doing great.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, Dad.
No, I'm just kidding. But he did give the compliments to both of you. So
Well,
I told him
thank
I'd give
you.
him a little shout out.
Well, Mr. Edwards, you produced a fabulous daughter, so well done. You should be
Did
proud of yourself.
No. All right, guys. Anything to say to the viewers before we end this episode?
Oh, good luck.
Be like Mr. Edwards and fade my picks.
There you go.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Take it.